Hi everyone, welcome back or welcome to Investigative Selfism. This is Justina, and today I'd like to talk about the topic of reflection. Reflection, or you could say journaling. And why today? Well, it is December when I'm recording, and I have personally two things in my life that are pushing me towards reflecting even more. One is that I'll be coming back next year to a country where I haven't lived in a long time, like 5 years. So a much younger me was living there for some time. And also because it's December, right? So the year is ending and I love kind of look back, just take the time, look back at my year and then see how I've changed, what I've learned, unlearned, and give myself that time to formulate everything in my head, to give that learning more meaning. Which is kind of in a way silly because then my birthday is in January, so like a month later I'm kind of doing like a similar reflection, but that's because I like reflecting on things and I would love to invite you to do the same. Maybe do that already, but hey, if you don't, it might be a very interesting then experience for you. And so before I give you a potential framework of what kind of reflection you could be having, I know obviously there's so many questions, many good, empowering, interesting, probing questions you could be asking yourself. So I'm not saying these are the only ones, but I think they're quite nice, they're quite good, and you might like, hopefully, what you discover by asking them. And obviously it's not about necessarily liking what you discover, but it's about checking in with yourself. And hey, if there's something you really don't like, that's a learning in itself, right? So it's good to be asking yourself, once again, empowering questions that can create value in your life when you answer them. And so before I give you that set that I personally really like, I have to say, when I look back my 5 years, it's kind of silly to say because I'm in my 30s, but man, 5 years ago, I was like a child in so many respects. How I saw relationships, how I was in a relationship, what kind of unhealthy behaviors I was carrying from one sort of life situation to another. Things that I was modeling, also unhealthy things from my, family situation. How the concept of boundaries didn't exist in my life, so many things. But hey, obviously 5 years, that is a long time. So I think probably when you look back at your lives in 5 years, things can happen, like a family might appear, or you can change your job, or maybe finish a study program, or just maybe feel better about yourself, which is a big achievement, or it's a long time. But even within a year, I claim a lot can happen, but it's very easy to miss it if we don't take the time to reflect on it. So what are the questions, like a set of questions that I like to ask myself, and I wanted to share those with you. Yes, I have an extra list. I'm looking at a piece of paper here. So what I like to ask is, okay, this year, what were my discoveries? Like new concepts, maybe new podcasts, new books, new authors, teachers, maybe some really nice bands that I'm like, oh my God, I really like them. And also, what new people came into my life? It can be different formats, different capacities, let's say, but was there anyone that I found maybe inspiring, or just a pleasant company, or someone that really very nicely resonated with me, and I really appreciate having met this person? So discoveries that are kind of wrapped in lots of gratitude, I guess, when you think about it. Another question would be, hey, did I form any healthy habits this year? Or maybe quit some unhealthy ones? Or maybe I identified what the unhealthy ones are that don't serve me anymore, right? And that I might want to kind of uproot, quit the next year. For example, I don't know, it could be from smoking to people pleasing, or smoking to people please. Maybe. That sounds like that could be possible. Anyway, so habits, right? Are they still serving you? Or are you carrying your habits from an older image and older limiting beliefs of how you see yourself, right? That's a big one, really. Another question, what were the relationships that you were investing in? So new people, yes, very nice. But also, if I do have very important relationships in my life, and let's say in my case, I move around a little bit and I don't live at home, so to speak, which sounds like a weird sentence to say. But anyways, so the people that are a bit like scattered in the world, like, and the ones that I really care about and I'm very happy that I have in my life, am I investing in those relationships? I know there are different kinds of relationships, and not each relationship needs as much of investment as maybe others, but am I doing that to the extent that I like? And am I investing in relationships that mean a lot to me and that I want to keep? Because that usually takes at least a little bit of work, right? Some effort. Another question could be, hey, am I gaining the skills from my professional development? Something maybe that I had identified before and I wanted to gain, or at least maybe start gaining, or just like, how are things going there? Am I satisfied with my professional development? I think it's a good question to ask, because then if we identify something that we don't like, then at least we know what we could start at least changing next year. And the generic question would be, what are the, good experiences this year that I'm grateful for? But also, what are the bad ones, so to speak, that maybe I wish I didn't have, and something that I was like, I really didn't want to deal with this. Maybe something really bad happened, right? And what are our learnings from those experiences? Because the good ones, like cool, gratitude, lots of joy, and still we have to pause to remember that those good things happen, right? So the reflection still serves us in that respect. So what about the bad ones? Because I think, so much of that very precious, very useful learning can come from that. Like, did I show up in that situation well? Was I acting according to my values, right? How did I show up? Like, is there something that I really don't want to repeat? Or maybe a learning that I got about a certain person, like, that was not pleasant, but now I have it, so now I can adjust the way I am with this person. Maybe some things that you think of and you say, yeah, that was such a bad decision. Why did I do that? And then, like, what are the pressures maybe that pushed you, right, to take that step? So plenty of space, if you create it, for analyses. But I think all of this reflection, those analyses, like, it's all useful, right? That there's value in that. But I highly, highly recommend approaching that with at least a little bit, ideally a lot, of self-compassion. I think doing that with self-compassion is a skill in itself. Like, that's a learning. But that's also we need those reminders. Instead of being, I did this, and like, this thing happened. Can we say, okay, that wasn't great, but can I hold it? Can I hold myself? Whatever that reflection gave me, like whatever the results, my insights, can I wrap it in a lot of love and a lot of self-compassion, meaning compassion for myself. Compassion, we know, is something that is easy to give to others usually, but to ourselves, not that easy in the end. So instead of, seeing flaws or negative things that happen, or certain learnings that maybe you wish would have happened but they didn't, can we say, okay, so this is my direction then. And just like you would speak very kindly to your friends in a way that doing something bad doesn't make you a bad person per se, right? And you wouldn't shame your friend for doing something bad, right? I hope that you don't shame yourselves as well, because that would be so counterproductive to reflecting on how this year has been. So I hope you take the time. I hope you see yourselves as being important enough to sit down and see how this year has been, how you have showed up to various situations in life, and what's the direction of your growth that you want to set for next year. And also give yourself that credit. You've probably gone through a lot, and sometimes it's so easy just to run without saying that was a lot, or without saying, yeah, you know what? I did do a good job there. It's not only for December, for any week, for any day. Obviously, I think these reminders are important, but especially for the end of the year, because why not? And I think for me at least, this is what makes the end of the year a bit more festive, because I create this ritual. I create something like this for myself and I say, take the time, this is your time now. And do this thing that can, once again, create lots of value in your life and help you set the direction, the path, the intention for next year, so that next year can be even more, if not better, but then more meaningful. You know, because it might not be better in some respects, but you can make it more meaningful, I think, I claim. So I hope this created some meaning for you and value, and I'll see you soon. Thank you so much.